Hey guys, happy Saturday. I just wanted to do another portfolio update. So as you can see, we ended the week, or I guess the last few months, I should go back, up $2,375. So just about 20%. It is fluctuating right now. You can see it actively moving just because of my crypto positions. Before we get into the rest of the video, if you guys would do me a big favor and hit that like and subscribe button down in the corner. I'm just trying to actively grow this channel, provide educational material, and keep you guys, updated as I try to grow this portfolio. But let's go ahead and get right into it. So as you can see here, as far as my option positions, I do have a QQQ put spread on. Let me go ahead and show you exactly why I put that on. So on NDX, which is the NASDAQ cash index, you can see here there was this nice trend line stemming from the high that formed in November of 21. So right around that, when we went into that long bear market for almost a year, it came back, hit this high in December of 24, and now just yesterday, I'm going to go to a 4-hour chart here, we hit it again. I opened the position. Let me see. Let me get down to like a 1-hour chart. Somewhere in this first hourly candle. I didn't top tick this perfectly because I was kind of a little busy yesterday at work. I didn't have the exact amount of time that I wanted to open the position, but I did open the put spread. So it's an August 15th. So I have from August 15th, 560 to 540. So what this means is, in order for me to make money on this position, you'll see here my break even is 555. So what that means is that I need QQQ in order to at least break even on the position and make some money or be flat. I need QQQ to be right around this level here. So a small little pullback. In order to make good money on the position, I needed to pull back to 540. Robinhood's great in that you can simulate your returns. You can see here 555, which is my break even at expiration, which would be on August 18th. You can see I'm going to make $14. But if we can have a more significant pullback, which I think based off of that chart right there, we could in the next couple of weeks, if we can, let's say 545, so close to 540 on expiration, this position could be worth $1,000. I put it on as a hedge. So you know that I hold Amazon, Tesla, AMD, and Google as big weighted caps in the NASDAQ. So I put this position on just as a hedge. Now I will say that if we get above this trend line and close above this, or even break this high from Friday, I'll probably close it out for a small loss. There's no reason to sit in this position and hope that the market's going to go in my favor. Now if we start to roll over and we kind of go sideways and stuff, I'm going to hang on to the position until we break above and close above this, or have a daily close above this trend line, staying in the position. I did also trim my Ethereum position. So let's go to the crypto charts real quick. We're just going to go down the list today. It just is, to me, it looks overextended. Some people might say, oh, it's got more room to run, and it very well could run up to this downtrend line that I've been talking about in other videos that stemmed from all-time highs, and then the high in December from when Trump inauguration, it had that big crypto run and things like that. So I still do believe that we're going to come up here and test this 3,900. Do I know when that's going to happen? In the next few weeks, months? No idea. But you can see here on the RSI, we're trading at an RSI of 90. Super, super overbought. You can see here, every time it gets stretched, it doesn't mean it's going to pull back, but I've also been in this position. I've made some good money, was up almost $1,000, so I decided to trim some of it. So you can see here, you can tell based just off these daily candles. I have a 24-hour chart just because I like to see extended hours, but daily and 24 are pretty much the same thing. You can see I'm toggling back and forth, but I have it on 24-hour chart. You can see that we're kind of starting to stall. We had this candle here, was strong push at the open. That wick down shows that sellers really stepped in and sold. So now, we'll see what the weekend holds. It could consolidate here and then make another push. That's fine. I still own 0.75 of a coin, so almost a whole coin. I only sold 0.25 of it. I just wanted to free up some capital, leave some cash on the sidelines in case the market does actually start to roll over. I have quite a bit of buying power here to add to some of my longer term positions. XRP also, same thing. I sold some XRP. This is not the chart that I love on XRP. Let me get to the one that I actually really like. I think it's this one. Yes, so this is the chart. So you can see here, all-time high from January of 18. We had another peak above here in Jan 25, and then we had this long pullback. We got up here, I want to say I sold on this red candle somewhere around this $3.54 area, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see, I can tell you exactly here. I don't remember what my exact fill. I got filled for 20, so I sold 25 XRP at $3.61. So somewhere just a little bit above, so somewhere like right up in here or something. You can see here it's pulling back. Now, I had talked about in the prior video, I think that this prior all-time high, we could come back, pull back more, and then head back up for the next leg. I still think that's possible. All the euphoria and FOMO, a lot of people probably were buying up in here. Same thing with Ethereum. They're probably barely buying in right now. The market's probably going to try and shake these people out. Wouldn't surprise me if Ethereum comes back into this maybe 3,200. It could even come back down to 3,000 this upcoming week or in the next few weeks before taking the next leg. Because people that bought up here, they're going to try and inflict the most pain possible before the next leg up. Or it could keep running and everybody gets rewarded. I'm not sure, but I just took a little bit of profit off the table, and we'll see what happens. As far as the rest of my positions, my Tesla position, I still haven't touched. 12 shares, 313.66 average. Let's go look at the chart real quick. It's looking good. I talked about last week or just a few days ago, this downtrend line here. We're pushing up against it again. We've got earnings coming up on the 23rd. Last night when I was on my phone, I was looking at some different things. I may play a little bit of a single put position down to the downside. There is a lot of downside here if earnings aren't great. We really could break 300 and this could tumble significantly. Or earnings could be more of a surprise and we really could push and really head back toward this like 365 area. So it'll be a big week this week for some of my positions. We'll see what happens here. I don't have a bias. I don't know which way it's going to go. I'm just going to read the chart, tell me what it says, and go from there. As far as Amazon I think reports on the 31st. So we still have about a week. I think it'll be not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. Chart still looks good, kind of slowly grinding higher. Let me put these in dailies. There's a little bit of a gap fill up here, so maybe we could come up here and potentially test this. My hunch is still, it has had this long run since the April low. I think there's a chance that we either could go sideways for a little bit here or have a little bit of a pullback. I'm fine with whatever. I will say that there's this big gap here that is from May 9th up to the 10th. This gap in here, I'd be very interested in adding some significant shares down at this like 193, 194 area. So if earnings are bad, something happens, I'd be definitely interested in a buyer potentially in this area for sure. Google earnings are this week. They are on the 23rd, so they're Wednesday. This will be interesting. I've been talking about this gap here for the last, couple videos and stuff. I still think that this could possibly get filled. If Google has good earnings, I definitely could see, mid 190s to even, low 200s possibly if the earnings are really good. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that, see what happens there with the chart. We'll go from there on that position, but still haven't touched that position. AMD, I did sell some shares. So let me go back. I had 14 shares last week. I sold 4 shares this week, and I'll show you what price. So I sold 4 shares at 161.10. Let me tell you why I did that. I sold the shares exactly here at this last bit of this gap fill. So you can see here, I had been talking about this gap fill also, that we had this big gap from 153 all the way up to 161. I think this was from earnings. It was from earnings. And I had talked about gap fills tend to act as magnets. Price usually gravitates back towards them, fills them, and then picks a direction from there, whether it's going to be further uptrend or a reversal. You can kind of see here already, we're starting to kind of roll over. It'll be interesting to see what AMD and the rest of the chip sector does next week. But I would not be shocked to see this start to kind of slowly consolidate at least, or possibly pull back. So I just took some profits off the table. I've been in the position. I think I started my position somewhere right around in here in early June, and it's ran. It's up almost $60 in a month. So there's nothing wrong with taking a little bit of profit, waiting for a little bit of a pullback, and then I can add more. AMD is a company that I believe in long term, and I think that it has the potential to compete with Nvidia. So it's a position that I really do want to get more invested in. But I just think it's a little overextended, and right now there's nothing wrong with ever taking a little bit of profit off the table. So as far as my last position, Oscar, I did add shares on Friday as well to this yesterday. So you can see here, I'm up to 150 shares now. Average is $16.68. Still down decent on the position, $477. But I did buy 25 shares at 1307. Once again, I'll explain why. So there was this last gap fill. This was from their earnings right here, and this blue line was 1307. I just set a limit order there, and I said, okay, if it hits, I'm going to buy the shares there. I'm going to let it be. So I added 25 more shares there at 1307. So my average is 1667. So I'm still down on the position. I still really like the chart though overall. We had this rounding bottom. We're kind of basing here. I don't think as far as the overall chart, I'm really concerned at all about this. I think that as long as we can hopefully start to consolidate more and then potentially start to kind of make higher lows and move up higher. I think before the year is over, we see this, downtrend break, and we could be, in the mid 20s based on the chart, and hopefully, wherever the overall market is as well. But that's kind of where we're at. I haven't planned to add anything as of yet. Like I said in the last video, these are a lot of the positions that I'm kind of looking at potentially be a buyer in. But I haven't made any moves. This is kind of where I'm comfortable with the portfolio right now. Like I said, I've raised a decent amount of cash in here. I don't want to get too aggressive right now with market being at all-time highs. Doesn't mean that it can't continue to go higher, but I'm just taking a little bit of risk off the table. It's been the last 2 months since I started this around like May 22nd or 21st, to be up 20% in 2 months. It's pretty good. So there's no reason to continue to get more and more aggressive. If the market has a small pullback and I see good opportunities, I'll take them from there. So, but we'll see how the next couple weeks go with earnings, and we'll really see. I feel that unless the Nasdaq closes over that level, I think that this position really could be a good hedge here, and I think that we could make some decent money off this put spread here as we head into the end of July and early August. So I'll keep you guys updated. I'll probably try and make another video on Wednesday after the Google earnings. I think Tesla comes out Wednesday as well, and we'll see how the overall portfolio and positions are doing.